The case study that I have goes right to the start of the time that I began working in this area. I'd just given a talk in November 2017 at King's College London on my research area. So I was talking about the State Duma in Russia, which is the lower house of their national parliament. And at the end of the talk, somebody came up to me who I didn't recognise, and they introduced themselves as a research analyst from the Foreign Office. This is the first time that I'd spoken to anybody from the Foreign Office, and I'll admit that it was quite an exciting prospect to deal with somebody who is outside of the academic community. They mentioned that their colleagues would be interested for me to go into the FCO to have a general conversation about the state of Russian politics, but also to talk about my research in detail. Following that, there were a couple of months of email exchanges trying to work out what in fact they wanted me to talk about, when would be the best time to speak. After that process, which of course is a trust building exercise as well, and trying to learn, both sides trying to learn a bit more about the other side, I went in February 2018 to go and speak to people in the Foreign Office, and in the room there was a mixture of research analysts but also more policy engaged people who listened to my research presentation, and on the basis of that I interacted with this particular research analyst, but then gained further contacts within the FCO and broader in Whitehall, so including contacts in the Cabinet Office, that then led to further engagements such as ad hoc policy briefings, and also I took part in a panel discussing threats leading up to the 2018 World Cup. So this case study doesn't end up with a document that's given to a particular minister saying these are Ben Noble's recommendations for what needs to change with Russian policy, but I still think that it's a case study that shows the importance of networking and how to build on moments that you haven't yourself created. So in this case, when somebody came up to me after a talk saying that they'd like to talk about my research further. None of this really has been by design, and yes, you can plan all of this conceptually, do a flow chart if I want to speak to this person in this month in this department, but actually the things that have really mattered have been those moments that I haven't planned at all, bumping into somebody in a hallway while I'm having a meeting with somebody else. And it's also one of the reasons why I find it so enjoyable. With research, with writing grant applications, everything's so meticulously planned, and one of the reasons why I enjoy public policy engagement is because there's that fizz of excitement about the unknown, but also with the understanding that these interactions could end up with something meaningful and impactful.